Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool, and I normally wouldn't post a Doom rant on a day that I've already posted a toast review, but today is a very special occasion, as you all know. Today is the first annual Chick-Fil-A day, as said by Mike Huckabee. For those of you who haven't heard or have been living under a very, very comfortable rock with soundproofing, Chick-Fil-A is a chicken company. They make chicken sandwiches. Apparently, they're very good. They're also a overtly Christian corporation, which means that things like they're not open on Sundays, and I think this has caused some trouble with some malls they've tried to branch into. But then they're like, no, we're not going to be open on Sunday. It's like, well, the mall's open on Sunday. We're like, we don't care, because they're. I actually got caught in a little outcropping. They're like, we don't care because we're not open on Sunday because of God. Okay, we don't really care. We don't have to be in your mall. Okay. And it's only recently that finally the guy who runs Chick-Fil-A has gone right out and said, it's like, no, yeah, we disapprove of gay marriage and all that crap. So yeah, and now he's going out, and now there's going to be a big at least a small counter protest. I don't know if it was started by Movie Bob, but he was like, hey, go to a non-Chick-fil-A restaurant and pick up some chicken and show them what you're losing. And I actually did that. I went to Popeyes in the Popeyes Place Mall, which I used to go to a lot because I would go there and I'd get some food while I was seeing some movies, ironically. Honestly, I actually prefer Johnny Rocket's hamburgers. Not it's apples and oranges, really, but I don't really want a Johnny Rocket's hamburger every single time I go there. I think I would swiftly get tired of it. Berserk back. Oh, I already have the other armor. Can't you? I don't have the chain gun yet. I know where the chain gun is, I think. You know what? I'm going to leave you behind. I'm not going to waste my ammo. I don't need you. I don't need you in my life. So, yeah, I suppose I participate in this counter-protest. Now, the thing with this is that, like, I have never actually been to Chick-fil-A. The problem is, even with this, like, when I first heard about Chick-fil-A, like, they're not even on the radar around here. My mother once went to on a business trip somewhere to, like, New Jersey or someplace, and she's like, what's Chick-fil-A? And everyone laughed. And I'm like, that's how it's spelled. Sort of like Chef Boyardee or something. Which is, the funny thing is, he spelled it out Boyardee, like the way it's spelled on the can, because he wanted people to pronounce his name right. But his name is Italian, and it's pronounced with the emphasis on the second syllable, Boyardee. Well, you're pronouncing it correctly, but the emphasis is wrong. And I'm like, that makes me laugh. I don't want to go that way. Oh, I know what I want to do. I remember this part. This is my, like, fourth time attempting to get this rant in a way I really like it. Sweet nectar. But I keep getting hung up on crap and taking too long. Beautiful. I'm loving it. Now, here's the thing. I'm not certain if me going out and saying, like, okay, it would be meaningless for me to go out and say, I will never buy Chick-fil-A, because I never have. They're nowhere near me. The nearest one is in Burlington, Massachusetts, which is over an hour away from here. So, for me to say that would be meaningless. Because I never have. And, like, okay, I did buy Popeyes when I went out specifically to get it, so it's not like I would have been normally buying. So in that sense, that's money in Popeye's pocket that's not in theirs, I guess, but on the other hand, am I condemning from ignorance because I've never had it? I personally don't think so, because I'm not condemning the food, I'm condemning the practice of the person who runs the corporation. So I don't think I am. If someone says I'm wrong, you can feel free and let me know. But all I'm making a comment on at this point is their policy on same-sex marriage. I prefer the term same-sex marriage to gay marriage or equal marriage rights or whatever, and those other PC terms that you hear. Mostly because if same-sex is more, it's simply the clearest term. Because like, what if it's two straight guys who have who just decide, you know what? Over the last 40 years of dating and other such things, we have mathematically determined that bitches ain't shit, and we want to just be, our own little cadre of dudes here, and get the tax protection that a different family would get. Why does it all have to be about who has sex with who? Why can't it just be, yeah, we're gonna be together forever. We're the best of friends, and we're not gay. Yum. Chain gun, love it. They pass out the invincibility like candy in these levels. I don't know why. I am not playing on the hardest difficulty, but that might be part of it. So, what's my point here is, despite this, I still want to try Chick-Fil-A someday. And it's not merely that the person is a Christian. The person who runs the company is a Christian. It's the fact that they are a Christian who contributes millions of dollars every year, like the company, not just the person. The company, Chick-Fil-A, contributes millions of dollars to foundations that are trying to resist the surely inevitable rise of same-sex marriage. I mean, it must be obvious at this point that this is simply it is simply a matter of time. Although, as I think back on it, I can't remember the last time religious a-holes did not get exactly what they want, and that really bugs the crap out of me. Now, I want to make this clear. Like, the guy, the mayor of Boston who went out and said, oh, Chick-fil-A's they're gonna have some trouble getting permits to be here anymore. No, I do not like that at all. I do not respect that. That is friggin' thuggery and totalitarianism, and we need to resist that. Just because it's something we like does not mean that we should forget that Chick-fil-A as a company, especially with that friggin' act that goes out and says that corporations are people, but that's a whole nother Doom rant. I'll need all of Doom 2 to talk about that shit. The fact of the matter is they have the right to operate their business pretty much however they want, as long as as long as their actual business practices of hiring are not discriminatory, and if they are, that's a different issue. That'll be dealt with by someone else. But they absolutely have the right to run their business basically however they want, as long as it's legal. And we have the right to not patronize them, or patronize a competitor, or discourage people from doing it, or let people know that their business practices are discriminatory based on what they say. But to hear like an actual government official go out and say, oh, they might not be able to get their passes, it's basically like hearing him say, this is a really nice place you have, shame if something would happen to it. That's repulsive. Or what about the mayor of Chicago saying, oh, what did he say? He said, hang on, I got the BFG. Punk. Making me waste my stuff. Give me that soul sphere. That's right. It's mine. Deal with it. The guy in Chicago is saying that these are not Chicago's values. What are Chicago's values exactly? Corruption, extortion, a humongous litany of corrupt politicians, including the Blagojevich, that shit. That repulsive a-hole who thankfully is going to jail for a great length of time. So no, like, I want to make it utterly clear that Chick-fil-A as a company has the right to run their business however they like. But wow, you guys don't usually come out this far. Well, that hurt like holy moly. Jerks. So I want to make it clear that they do have the right to do this, of course, and we have the right to treat them, as and not patronize them for whatever reason. But we cannot excuse. Shoot, which one did I hit? We cannot. Well, that was wrong. Hang on. We cannot excuse a government official making a comment like that, saying, "Oh, they might have this." So let's not go crazy. But let us all get back in agreement. As far as this goes, are there any people who are legitimately opposed to gay marriage who are not doing it though because of a deep-held religious belief? Okay, the founder of Chick-Fil-A, Mike Huckabee, Rick Santorum, Orson Scott Card, who is a Mormon, you know, the most ridiculous sect of Christianity of all, founded by the man best described of anyone else of the 19th century as a mountebank. You know. But, see, I've had to try to do this a couple times, and I've never really been satisfied with what I say. But I think that's because I'm trying to be too respectful. The fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, if you, you know, because I try not to rip on religion specifically here. I did just sort of give that Mormonism a little bit of a rip, but come on. I mean, although, like, remember that guy from MSNBC who said to Mitt Romney, he's like, "Hey, I'm a single father, I'm doing this. Stick that right in your weird underwear." And I'm like, whoa, whoa, that's not cool. That's friggin' racist is what that is. I mean, Mormonism isn't a race, but we don't yet have a really good word for... Well, it's prejudice is what it is. Saying something like that, and I would hope to never say something like that, because I don't... My objections to religion is not racial or otherwise, you know, based on something like that. It's just logical. And the fact is, there are many people... There's two types of pious person. They're the people who earnestly get their beliefs from the Bible, you know, and they're just like, and they believe, okay, they believe in things like justice and peace and whatever else. And then there are the people who believe whatever it says because they've been told it. Because I know plenty of people who are Christians whom would never dream of discriminating against homosexuals. But, you know, but still believe in things, earnest things like the divinity of Christ and power in Jesus, and they believe that if you are virtuous in your life, that you will enter the everlasting meadow of the Lord and enter His womb. Or would look, I don't know exactly what they say, but that's just what they try not to get squished here. If I manage to not get squished, this will be the first time I've done this without getting squished. Yum. You should have seen the tape where I didn't find that key for about 30 minutes. But so there are people who believe it just because they're told that, and then there are the people who believe it because, and then there are the people who believe it just because that's what the Bible says. It's like, well, that's what this thing says, and the Bible is true because of this. And it's like, you guys are no better than any other kind of extremist. You're no better than any other extremist whom you guys would decry at a drop of a hat just because your particular brand of crazy isn't being illustrated. And I'm gonna go out and say this. Like, I used to, like, I think Pat Condell once said that women's rights are the line in the sand that the Islamic world should never be allowed to cross at any price, no matter what the price to pay is. Women deserve equal human rights, and I agree with that too. And I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, you know what? Gay rights is one of those things that if you don't believe it, if you can come up with some reason that isn't based on one of these books, then you can feel free, tell me, go ahead. But the fact of the matter is if you don't think that gays are equal, you're wrong. You're just wrong. And there is no debate to be had. The only reason the problem is that you people are the people who would not know a right action from a wicked one unless it was told to you in a book. You're the people who think that we needed to know from a book that murder and stealing and thievery and lying were wrong, and we need a book to tell us this because we're nothing but bonobos walking upon this earth, when it's only, I think, you know, when it's clear we created these books when we learned these things in you know, the awkward teenage years of our evolution. And the people who still look at the things, I can even, honestly, I haven't said this in any of the other takes, but I can even see a historical reason for disapproving of homosexuality, which would be, look, you have 9 kids, 7 of them died in the Crusades, 1 of them died of the plague, and then one of them, you know, the only one left, says he's gay, and he's like, I don't want to have sex with a woman, I have sex with a man. It's like, are you kidding me? I raised 9 kids, and you're gonna go have sex with a woman? But this was 2,000 years ago. It's like, that's not important anymore. You know, and that, even whether or not that is whether or not that is, I don't have the Berserk pack anymore, I can't do that. Whether or not that is the historical context, it's over. We don't need it anymore. There's no reason why gay people cannot be married, and that's just the end of it. And if you think that, you really need to re-examine what you think is moral. And if all of your morals would just be handed to you on a silver chalice by some gigantic, invisible, non-existent dictator, because that's, you know, if that's the way you want to live, that's fine, but that's not morality. That's totalitarianism, just like what the guy in Boston was trying to do. It's like, well, those aren't our beliefs, and that really does tick me right off. I guess I'm yeah, you shouldn't have messed with me. So yeah, at this point, I'm like, I see no reason at all why gay people should not be allowed to be married. And if you're going to use your religion, it's like, guess what? Your God isn't real. And these things, these imaginary forces that you talk about are figments of your and remember, I'm an agnostic. I'm willing to grant you the possibility that everything you say is true. But the fact of the matter is, that's not enough anymore. It is not enough to deny a portion of our population basic human rights. And it is a scandal. And it's a shame that such an enormous population of people, like right now, apparently there are people lining up outside of Chick-Fil-A's for hours. Like, you guys are going to be on the wrong side of history this time. This must have been what it was like to watch the civil rights movement and watch millions of people march against segregation and march against all this other stuff. And it's just like, how much clearer does it have to fricking be that you guys are, it is ridiculous. And I'm not even gay, you know, I'm straight. But I'm not going to be and I'm not even going to be married anytime soon, so even if I was gay, I'd still probably be pretty lonely. But it's like, it just bothers the living hell out of me. And we got to get past this. If you think it, you know, just remember, your God doesn't exist. The God that wants you to hate people does not exist. If he was a God, you know, if there was such a thing, he wouldn't want you to hate. You know. So, at the end of the day, it's like, I probably will not be patronizing Chick-Fil-A, but again, probably was never going to, just because it's so far away from me. So, probably is a pretty meaningless statement for me. Oh, I don't know. The fact that the people who are determined to lecture us on morality are the people who would not know a wicked action from a proper one unless it was given to them in some book, some random book. And they're the ones who say that atheists and agnostics and secularists and Freemasons or whatever are the ones ruining the country. Fuck that, okay? Enough. Alright. I don't know where the end of the level is, but I think I'm all set for now. Thank you all for listening. This is King Cool. Drive home safe. Maybe, but as far as being a good person, they were ah! Did you see that? Oh, I'm glad I got that on camera. A lost soul killed a bear in a hell for the first time ever. Oh man, I'm so happy that's staying in here. I don't care what I gotta do.